Hello, hello, hello. I think we're coming to the end of, not the book, the Codependency Characteristics. You get fairy dust, I get fairy dust, Amelie gets fairy dust. Here we are with Melody Beatty's book, Codependent No More, and we are talking about the later stages of codependency. So the later stages. Codependency Characteristics, page 50. Codependents may feel lethargic. Why? Because we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're tired. Years and years of overdoing, years and years of fawning, years and years of wanting to be different, people to be different than they are, years and years of not understanding what the fuck is wrong with us. Like, we get just lethargic and depressed. And that's the next one, feel depressed. Yes, so depressed. I spent most of my life depressed. And I'm beginning to realize that the more that I heal, the less depression that I have, which seems like, well, no shit. But I'm thinking, like, I just have depression, and it will come again. But I've just noticed the more that I heal and work on this stuff, the less that it knocks on my door. And I'm so grateful for that, because when it does, it is very challenging, as you will know. Become withdrawn and isolated. Now, for me, one of the ways I did this, or what helped me with my isolation, is eating disorder, like binging and purging all day. So you do that in private. Until you have to do it, you have to do it in private. What's going on with this curl? Okay, now I uncurled it. Anyway, but codependents have that too. It's my guess that you're doing something when you're on your phone, playing a game, watching your shows, binging Netflix, whatever. And some of that is fine, and sometimes we need to take time to do that. And some of it is actually good. It's coping. But if it's all day, every day for an extended period of time, that's how we do it. Like, that's how we isolate ourselves, and that's how we withdraw. And I remember reading in one of the pieces of literature for my food addiction, and you know how I feel. I feel like a lot of codependents have food issues. It just said, the person was telling part of their story, and they just said, it's in the literature though, not a person. And it said, close the shades. And the first time I read that, it seemed like just a little thing, but it opened my eyes, because I love that. I love closing my shades. Like, I love it. I still love it to this day, but I did it all day long. And it's really funny, because my cats know. I have 2 cats and a dog, and one of the cats likes me, so he's the one that would know. And then, of course, my dog, when I close the blinds, they know. They get lined up. They get, like, so before we got Amelie, my dog, Bagel, would be upstairs in his cat tree. And then I'd close, the sound of the closing of the curtains, noise, I'd hear, boom, da 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 da. So we jump off the cat tree and come running down the stairs. Like, even our cats are like, my cat is like, bitch, you're isolating, but while you're at it, you gotta pet me. Late in codependency, experience complete loss of daily routine and structure. Like, we just lose our lives. It all just becomes too much to bear. Feel hopeless, of course. Experience a complete loss of, I just said that, abuse or neglect their children or other responsibilities. Like, we don't want to be that. We don't want to be that. Don't beat yourself up if you're completely lost right now and can't do it differently. Don't beat yourself up. You're watching this. That's recovery. You're in recovery if you're watching this and you're feeling guilty about your kids or whatever. Heal. That's the best thing that you can do. Heal this. Heal it. take the time you need. You might have another year of just feeling lethargic. That's fine. Just keep going and healing it. And it's not going to be like this forever. But if we don't push up against it, it's just going to be inertia. And it's going to be like this from here on out. We don't want that. Feel hopeless? Of course. Begin to plan their escape from a relationship they feel trapped in. So what's interesting to me about that is, just listen to the language, plan or escape. Because it's fucking prison to be in a codependent relationship when we're unhealed. Like, it's fucking prison. And we want to plan our escape. But so for me, my inner saboteur will, like, I'm going to be binging all day or eating all day or distracted by the TV all day, and miserable and isolating. And then my brain will produce these fantasies like, oh, if this could just happen, or oh, if I could just, I'm going to leave one day, or I'm going to this one day, or when. To me, what that does, to me, not anybody else, but to me, it helps me to lie there. Because if I'm fantasizing, then I don't have to solve my problems. If I'm fantasizing about one day, that instead of 2 fucking day, instead of today, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to a codependency meeting. I'm going to go to recovery meeting. I'm going to work on my addictions. I'm going to work on my resentments. I'm going to, for you to do that, that's different. But fantasies are not problem solving. And so in a weird way, these fantasies provide us with a hit of dopamine, like, oh, that would be so nice. Or, oh, one day when I'm free and living the life of my dreams. Look, the only way we're going to get to that is just to slog through the bullshit of healing our little selves. So for me, fantasizing about that keeps me trapped. Problem solving is the antidote I'm looking for. Thoughts about suicide, that's another way to escape. If you're having those thoughts, run, don't walk to get to therapy immediately. Even if it's just thoughts, and you don't have anything, like, call, get help right now. Do not let those thoughts linger. That's not, those thoughts, if we entertain them, they can become more dark. And so, if you have any suicidal thoughts or ideas, or wish that was the escape or whatever, you got to go to therapy. That you got to heal that. And you want to have tools against when your brain just produces these thoughts. So problem solving is the antidote. If you're having thoughts about suicide, call 911. If you're having thoughts about suicide, call the suicide hotline. Like, don't play around with those kinds of thoughts. They're very, very, very dangerous. Do not take them lightly. I want you here on the planet with me. Like, heal this shit. You deserve that. It's your birthright to heal this shit. Okay. Become violent. I yell. When I was unhappy, just the toxicity, it spills out. There's no way it's not going to feed into my thoughts, my feelings, my behaviors. Of course, I never became violent, but just yelling and ugh. Become seriously, emotionally, or mentally, physically ill. Migraines, eating disorder. The gamut. Experience an eating disorder. Hello. Under or overeating. Become addicted to alcohol and use other drugs. Okay, bitch. We did it. We got through that checklist. We don't want to live this way. Nobody is proud of any of these things. We're not living in integrity when we live by these things. Take the call to adventure. This is your quest. This is your healing journey. This is your hero's journey. You're on a quest to heal this. Answer the call. do whatever it fucking takes. When we're in recovery from codependency, we must go to any lengths possible to heal this. If you're feeling defeated today, take one tiny action. And P.S., you are doing an action because you're watching this and you're, getting the advanced bitches vibes. You're interacting with someone that has done this work. Has it been a slog? Yes. Have you hated every minute of it? Almost. But I had no idea. Thank God I had a therapist that told me, one day your life is going to be better than this, than your addictions, better than isolation. Isolation to me is like a drug in and of itself. I'm like, I thought that was just utter madness that she was sharing with me. How could that be? How could that be that my life could the bitch was right. And believe me, I spent, 15 years not believing her, because still at that point, the food was better than life. The food, the dysfunctional behaviors, nursing a resentment, isolation was better than life. But she was right. And I've seen it. I have seen it when people don't do it, and it doesn't go well. It doesn't end well. Don't you want to be free of drama and chaos? And when I say be free, there's a little asterisk, caveat. Life is drama and chaos. Just even writing this book and working with people that I hadn't worked with before, there was some drama and chaos in there. I didn't create it, or when I did and I had a part in the drama and chaos, I figured out how not to be in it anymore, and I figured out how to get out of it. And so, so I hope this is helpful. I love you so much. Do not beat yourself. These are not your fault. These codependency characteristics, they're not your fault. It's my belief that codependency is fawn response. Codependency is trauma. Codependency is trauma. And you are being called to heal your trauma. You are being called to heal your codependency. And you are not alone. There are other advanced bitches out there, including Melody Beatty, that is doing this shit. So recovering addicts, which I also believe codependency is addiction in a way, or it helps me to think of it that way, choose recovery. You are worth recovery. You're worth it. You're worth doing this work. You're worth it. And future you would be so grateful to present you. Future you would be like, bow down, bitch. Bow down, bitch. You went to that meeting when you didn't want to. Bow down, bitch. You read that fucking book when you didn't want to. Bow down, bitch. You started listening to Elizabeth and started, changing your perspective or whatever. Bow down when you didn't want to. When Elizabeth is annoying, she doesn't edit her fucking videos, and you still hung in there with her, and you, followed the thread to other, people out there that'll help you with your codependency. Bow down to you, bitch. You are that bitch right now. Take one small action today. Okay, take two. You watch this. Now take two. Take a second one. What could it be? What could it be? You know what? A fun game we're gonna invent right now. We'll go to the 4th chapter. We put a thumb in the end of it, and we put a pinky in the beginning of it. So, thumb at the end, pinky in the beginning. So this is chapter 4, Codependency Characteristics, and we're just gonna close our eyes, flip through the paper, and then I'm going to put my finger down and I choose this. So what did I land on? Begin to talk, okay, this is poor communication. Begin to talk in cynical, self-degrading, or hostile ways. Okay, guess what I'm gonna be doing? I'm not gonna be mean to myself. I'm not gonna be hostile. I'm not gonna be cynical. I'm going to do the opposite of cynical. I'm going to be hopeful. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm not going to be self-degrading. I'm going to be self-loving today. I'm not going to be hostile to myself or anyone else today. And I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to spend my time doing what it takes to get unhooked from being hostile. Look, you're doing work. You're doing your advanced work. Get the workbook. Get the workbook. Do the work. pen to paper, do the work, do the work, do the work, do the work. The only thing that makes us change is actions. Okay, I have been preaching, which I don't normally do. Have I been acting in a hostile way? Okay, let me pull it back. In spite of everything, the paradox of this work is you're doing great. Even if it's a hard day and you can't do shit. Again, you don't get to say that because you're watching this. That's doing shit. You're listening to Melody Beatty. That's doing shit. Okay, I hope this is helpful. I love you. Ooh, I wonder what we're going to discover next. What does the next chapters hold for us? Love you. Bye.